Creatures of the night. Before I get into this review, I do want to put a little PSA that every time I am doing a live stream for either AEW or New Japan, whenever there's a WWE show on, I get the same comments about how it's crazy that you are covering this show other than WWE. Like, why are you talking about AEW or New Japan when WWE is on? And, you know, sometimes the comments are inappropriate or sometimes they're just stating that. And for me, I have to say, like, I am very pro wrestling. I'm never going to discourage people to watch other promotions whenever they're doing their shows. However, I cover whatever the fuck I want to cover on my channel, and you guys know that consistently it's always AEW Ring of Honor and, you know, doing New Japan, and that's what I like to do. And I also like to shout out any other promotions that are going on currently as well. WWE has 1 billion people who are covering them. If you want to see something WWE related, go to one of those channels. I am not at a loss if you're not watching my shit. I really don't care. I am trying to spread the gospel of pro wrestling, despite probably being the biggest heathen that there is. But I don't need people coming onto my channel telling me what I should or should not cover. Would I make a suggestion? Cool. But if I keep telling y'all, this is not what I'm about, I am covering AEW, I'm covering Ring of Honor, whatever I'm covering is what I'm going to give. If you don't like that, there are 1 billion people who are covering WWE. Go have fun over there. Now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about Collision. We started off with tag team action. We had Samoa Joe teaming up with Hook, once again being a babysitter for Hook, going against the Patriarchy, which is Kip Sabian with that outfit, them shorts that Kip Sabian was wearing. Lord have mercy, Lord. They were great. And obviously, we do have Nick Wayne tagging with Kip. We had our stepdaddy and Mama Wayne that were ringside. And yes, Christian was doing what he could to get involved. However, it wasn't enough. Samoa Joe is back. He's handling business. And unfortunately, part of that business is also being a babysitter for Hook. Hook was getting his ass whooped for the most part. This was really them keeping Hook in the ring and teasing you about Samoa Joe getting in here or whatnot. So there was a lot of times where Hook was struggling to just get Joe in there, and obviously the crowd are just waiting for him to get in. They finally get Samoa Joe in here, maybe like twice, I want to say, and Samoa Joe's handling business and ends up taking the win, with pinning Kip Sabian, which I'm not surprised about. Now, after this, we do have Adam Copeland, who is backstage, and he's talking about the veterans and how they've paved the way and all these things. And I'm like, all right, baby, where is this going? And then he goes on and brings up Jon Moxley. And he said, oh, when I was doing things, making big moves in my career, you were watching me with your purple hair, copying the shit that you saw me do. And I was like, oh, you know what? He's not wrong about that. And long story short, he goes on and challenges Moxley for the AEW championship for Revolution on March 9th. That is on a Sunday, for those of y'all who's wondering. We're back to Sunday's pay-per-views, Tony Khan, even though I told you not to do Sundays. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. For the very first time ever, Jon Moxley is going against Adam Copeland, and the title will be on the line. After this, Beast Morthos goes against Adam Priest. Beast Morthos, let me have your beast children, Lord. He's beautiful. He is really beautiful. It was a squash. And it was done in like less than a minute, just in a couple of moves. I'm not a fan of those things, but we got Beast Morthos. He's beautiful. He's sexy. We got a chance to lay our eyes upon Beast Morthos. Now, while Beast Morthos is, I wasn't going to say he was going to be celebrating, but he was still in there, and everybody had just begun to clap about Beast Morthos winning. Here comes Max Caster with his new song, That Sucks, and he's walking around with that Louis Vuitton bag, again, that has nothing in it. And, he's coming and taking our boys' TV time. How dare you take away from Beast Morthos' TV time? He comes on in there and he goes on to say that he's the best wrestler alive, and he's only the best wrestler alive because he trademarked that shit. So you own it because you went and bought it, but no one is calling you the fucking best wrestler alive. So then he goes in there He goes, he's challenging any of you motherfuckers back there to come and have this open challenge match with me. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Now, music hits, and who is it? It's Roosh. El Toro Blanco Roosh comes out there with this beautiful mask with these big horns. Oh Lord, it's just so, oh my God, it's so cute. It's really, really cute. And he had this white cape and the horns and everything. The mask was gold, and there's some gold on the cape. It was beautiful. It looks absolutely amazing. He comes on out there. And I'm looking at Max Caster. Max Caster just turned yellow, okay? Homeboy is sick after seeing who he has to face. Drilistico out there, too. He got his little mask on and a suit when really he didn't even need to have a suit on. He could have just, come out here in ring gear. Who cares? We want to see these men and the bodies. Now, they come on out there. Bruce get into the ring and beats Caster in like a minute. So double squashes within like 5 minutes. And I'm gonna say, as much as I would like to see Max Caster getting his ass whooped, I didn't necessarily like this. I didn't care too much about this because I felt like it felt forced. Like Max Caster is already out there looking defeated anyway, and he's getting his ass whooped. And it's like he gets himself ready in positions for, Roosh to beat him. And I don't like to watch matches where I feel like I could feel what you're thinking. When I could sense what you're thinking, and you're just trying to do everything that you can to make your opponent look good, but so obviously. For me, I just can't get behind it. It was a squash anymore, so nothing important. This is really just to bring LFI back with Beast Mortals. We haven't seen them since right before the Continental Classic, so that's been at least December, maybe late November. They're back. Roosh gets on the mic and he's getting everybody to chant his tagline. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. And he made him say it again because he was like, hold on, bitches, I don't hear y'all. What's my tagline? Everybody goes on into saying it. And he gets at Beast Mortals like, hey, remember, we're family. Don't ever forget that. And almost as if it's fucking Beast Mortals' fault that y'all asses were not here for the past 2 months. I ain't got nothing to do with Beast Mortals. Beast Mortals went on to do the Continental Classic and they get one motherfucking win. Tony Khan didn't even give him one win throughout that whole thing. And then here is Roosh coming, kind of seeming to be upset at Beast Mortos over it. I don't really understand what the fuck that was about, but we'll see. It looks like maybe the group is together. Beast Mortos with that mask, I could tell even he looks confused. And Beast Mortos, if you're confused, let me do something about it. I don't know. Something about it was just like, for me. But Max Caster got his ass whooped, and I'm cool with that. Up next, tag team action again, Learning Tree, which was Chris Jericho teaming up with Brian Keith to go on against the Outrunners. Outrunners getting a little TV time this month. And the match was okay. I'm putting all biasness aside. I promise you, I'm putting all biasness aside. Chris Jericho doesn't need to be wrestling every week. He doesn't. I think he thinks he's doing better than what we actually see him doing in the ring. We just get to that point that as you get older, maybe it's better that you're on a part-time basis and not us seeing you weekly in the ring. Y'all could have given this to Big Bill and, a Brian Keith to do rather than Chris Jericho. The way he moves in the ring, it's not the way it used to be. And this is not me getting at his age. It's just, hey, bro, you're not performing in a way that people are interested in seeing you right now. So with you supposed to be the veteran in this group, give Big Bill and Brian Keith a little bit more TV time instead of your ass being in the ring. I just couldn't get into it the way they wanted us to get into it. Big Bill, who's ringside, who's obviously helping the Learning Tree to win this. And I'm okay with the cheating and all that stuff, but what was going on in the ring between the four of these guys did not interest me the way that I think they wanted us to enjoy this. Now, obviously, Learning Tree takes a win. We knew this was going to happen. Big Bill came in there and beat the hell out of the Outrunners. Now, while they're over here beating them up, they bring a table into the ring to put them through. And just when they're getting ready to, put the Outrunners through these tables, music hit and it's Bandito. Bandito come running in there and I'm just like, whoa, don't be running up in here. The last time you got yourself involved to get your hands on Chris Jericho, which was at the Final Battle pay-per-view, he ended up getting hurt. And he had a concussion, and we haven't seen him since. Well, at least until today. So he is back. He goes in and attacked Learning Tree group and put Brian Keith through a table. And I will say this show was taped after Dynamite, and for me, I'm just like, why isn't the crowd making noise for Bandito? Do they not even know who this is? They were really, really quiet, and for me, I just felt like moments like this, when somebody returns, like, y'all should be making a lot of noise, and people were just sitting there like, who is this guy? Not good. Not good at all. After this, we get a hype video for Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. This is going to be taking place next week on Collision. Now, I will say this for those of y'all who might not have remembered, during the Continental Classic, the only time that Kyle Fletcher had lost a match during the Continental Classic was against Patrick Briscoe, which was very, very surprising. So we're going to run it back for a little light work for Kyle Fletcher before the Australia show in 2 more weeks. Now, after this, we have Buddy Matthews, who's back there, who is with Okada, and basically saying, hey, bitch, I want to get my hands on you. He said, Brody ain't here, Julian ain't here, nobody said, just you and me, let's go. Obviously, Okada, he's wearing a suit. He's looking really dapper. He doesn't want to get wrinkles in his suit, so he says, no, I don't want to fight. And then Buddy calls him a bitch for not fighting. They do want to have, well, I get it. I think they do want to have this match at the Australia show. This would be great because Buddy's from Australia. This would be a really, really great place for that match to take place. But Okada's still saying no. And we'll see what ends up happening with that. After this, Harley Cameron goes against Taya Valkyrie. And I'm just like, all right, cool. You know, Taya's going to teach her a little lesson. Deanna's backstage in that big-ass fur coat that she looked like she probably just took off of a polar bear, and watching the match backstage. And Harley, once again, she's improved, but she is nowhere near the level of Taya, but somehow gets the win with a roll-up. But congratulations to Harley, and I'm not being sarcastic here, because this is her first win on AEW, her very first win, and I'm at the point where I was just like, I didn't want her to win simply because we have the vendettas, you know, with Deanna and Taya. They have yet gotten anything out of being a faction together, and for whatever reason, it's just nothing but pretty much L's, maybe 2 wins. And everything else has been L's. And honestly, very surprising to see that Harley would take a win over Taya Valkyrie. Now, after this, a little bit later, our girl Harley, she goes to knock on CEO's dressing room. No answer. And then they interview her, and she has a puppet of CEO with like a purple and blue wig and the outfit and everything. It's so cute. And Harley is a ventriloquist. Yeah, ventriloquist. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She does the thing with the puppets, and she does really, really well with it. So you can see her mouth is barely moving, but she's making the puppet speak, and I thought that was really, really cool. And she was pretending to be CEO, giving her opportunity for the TBS title. Now, CEO actually does come out there. She's like, oh, this puppet thing you're doing, girl, it's cute. But you ain't fighting me. I'm not going to let you fight me for no reason at all. She's obviously feeling a little bit bad about it, but I do think that Harley's going to end up getting her hands on CEO. We'll see about that. So now, we have a sit-down interview with Nate Paquette and Ricochet. Ricochet's talked about how even before he came to AEW, everybody and their mama was like, hey, you should go to AEW. That's where the best wrestle. If you go over there, then, hey, you might have a better career. He got over here, and people have not necessarily gravitated towards him. And he said everybody pretty much turned their back on him. And I was like, Ricochet, I didn't turn my back on you. I said I was going to see how it turns out when you got here. Since he's gotten here, I've actually enjoyed his matches. I've actually enjoyed him being a heel. He's talking about everybody, how they end up throwing toilet paper at him and nobody really respecting him, and how, you know, he's here to be with the best, and including Swerve Strickland. Now, while he's talking, Swerve come out of nowhere and is like, Renee, I got it from here. You can go. Now, obviously, we don't want the ladies to get tied up into these little scuffles, so Renee ends up leaving. And then here's Swerve sitting down in Renee's seat, and he brings it very close, right in front of Ricochet's face, and he's talking to him. He's like, look, I'm a villain up in here. Okay, and I'm not pretending to be anything other than what I am, that people still love and respect me despite me being the villain. And you know, he's just talking about how things have been working for him, and how, you know, Ricochet just got here and he ain't doing the damn thing really. And then Ricochet was like, oh, what do you mean everybody respect you? The way I seen Hangman manhandle you, why should anybody respect you and fear you? And then Swerve was like, what the fuck? And then he goes into Ricochet's pocket, pull out the gold little safety scissors and put it up to Ricochet's neck. And I'm just like, oh my God. And now these two guys are just staring each other down. And then Swerve was like, you know what? And then he tucks it right back into Ricochet's pocket. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to murder you here on TV. I'm just going to wait till Wednesday when we have our match on Dynamite. This segment felt so good. It really felt so good. And I was just like, damn, I wish this was for the pay-per-view. This would be so much better if it was for the pay-per-view. But unfortunately, that's not the route that they're going with this. But still, I think they're going to do a really great job. I've loved the way things have been going, you know, with Ricochet and Swerve. And some of y'all might not agree, but I really feel like this is something that Ricochet needs. Ricochet needs this win against Swerve on Dynamite. After this, Toni Storm comes out. She has a little confession to make that she has just been playing the role of Toni Storm. You know, Toni Storm, the rock star Toni Storm with the backward hat. She's been playing that role because since she was heartbroken by Mariah May, she felt like she was so embarrassed and ashamed, and she had to do whatever it was to just not be herself. So she ended up being like the old Toni Storm, whatever the situation is. And she's going to get her hand on Mariah because she's a motherfucking fraud. And it's time for her to get that title back. And I can't wait to see the match that they have. Will she win it back? I'm not entirely sure, but that would be a huge, huge pop for our girl, Timeless Toni Storm, to end up taking the win the title back in Australia. After this, we have a highlight career package of Christopher Daniels. And the way they did it, I was like, did he die? Is he okay? Whatever. Sometimes these things, they do it in a way where you're wondering if they're okay. But obviously, he's no longer going to be wrestling in the ring. And we appreciate Christopher Daniels for everything that he has done. I'm pretty sure he's still employed, running things back there. And can't wait to hear more about what happens with his career, even though it is behind the scenes. Best match of the night. Best match in quite a little bit for me. TNT Championship, Danny Garcia walking in as a champion versus Lee Moriarty versus Kyle O'Reilly. Lord, if you missed the best match. I mean, they tore it up, okay? Tore it up. People in the audience was standing. They were clapping. They were cheering. All of these guys. And for me, it was very intense. And I feel like you got to go back and watch this if you haven't seen it. I felt like this was the match that was needed to put the TNT title back on the fucking map, wherever the hell that's been. It just seems like up until now, we really haven't gotten much with Daniel Garcia. And something about it made the TNT Championship feel really, really special with all three of these guys, man. They put a really great performance. And I was like, Danny, they got you wrestling tonight, okay? They got you putting in work, okay? Now, it seemed like Lee Moriarty was going to take that win. He put Danny into a submission, and Danny was able to reverse that and end up pinning Lee Moriarty for the win. But this match was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You know, Daddy Magic over there doing nothing else but looking like somebody lost uncle on commentary. And Shane Taylor ended up coming like, I think like throughout one of the commercial breaks and not getting involved or anything like that. Well, no, actually that's not true. He did keep Kyle O'Reilly from getting in right in the last minute or so by pulling his leg so he didn't get back into the ring. And Lee Moriarty could have almost taken it if it wasn't for Danny being on his P's and Q's and reversing that and ended up taking the win. Now, Danny and Kyle, they're face to face and they're just kind of going back and forth. Can't really hear what they're saying. But Shane Taylor gets into the shot in the background and he's looking like he's ready to put his hands on people. Then out of the blue, the entire infantry's out there surrounding the ring. Now it's literally 4-on-2. Then Daddy Magic gets his ass up. Angela Parker came from the crowd and getting in there, and that was 4-on-4. And then here comes, you know, it's all about the boom. And then all of a sudden the infantry is getting scared. Who the hell? I wouldn't even fucking run from Adam Cole. And Adam Cole comes on out there with who's the other one that he was with? He was somebody. Oh, Roderick. And now it's 6-on-4. And I'm just like, what is going on here? Honestly, it's whatever. I wouldn't be running away from no Adam Cole, but hey, the numbers game is playing a factor here. So next week we're gonna have a match where it's gonna be SCP, which is Lee and Shane Taylor teaming up to go against Adam Cole, and then wait, hold on, no. It's trios, a 3-way trios match, SCP, whatever that little group Danny got going on with Daddy Magic and them. And then they're also going to be going against the Undisputed Kingdom. I'm bored. I'm already bored. We already know where this is going. We'll see about it next week. After this, we do have Megan in a squash match. She wins in like two moves. After that, Tony Khan did post on social media that Megan is officially All Elite. Congrats to Megan. I don't like when they use the girls, especially debut matches and things like that, where they're just squashing people. I don't feel like people get a chance to get to know who the wrestler is when they're only doing like 3 moves and fucking winning. I don't care about that. After this, they let us know that Timeless Tony Storm is going to be going against Queen Aminata on Dynamite. So Queen Aminata, prayers. We also get to hear from Lio Rush and Action Andretti that look like they're vacationing in Miami or Cali or something like that. Basically saying that Lio Rush is going to accept his challenge, a Darius challenge, to go against him a one-on-one. After this, Chris Statlander is backstage apologizing to Willow Nightingale, basically saying, hey, I'm just asking for your forgiveness, and I still have a little friendship bracelet that we had from when we was friends. And Willow said, you know what? I'm just going to focus on me. Great. Lovely. Main event, Mid-South street fight. Moxley teaming up with Wheeler Yuta. Poor Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta came in there all bruised up and everything. Lord have mercy. They went against FTR. The match is exactly what you would think. That, you know, at first we're going to start off with FTR and Death Riders just, you know, doing their thing and whatnot. Yes, we got tables, ladders, chairs, oh my, thumbtacks and garbage cans and all that shit. However, if you thought that, you know, there wasn't going to be any interferences, then you thought wrong. Marina was out there. It was basically 3-on-2 for a little bit. And Claudio had to come out there too when he realizing that it's not looking good for our boys. Now, even Dax ended up putting, Marina had him in a sleeper, and Dax is barely alive. Then he gets his ass up and he throws himself onto the table just to crash Marina onto the table. And I was like, Dax, I didn't think you was going to put your hands on a lady, but he did. So Marina was out for pretty much the rest of that match. And long story short, Jay White should be minding his business and worried about getting to Australia instead of getting into this foolishness, end up coming out with Adam Copeland, because obviously the numbers game is not working for FTR. And what ended up happening was that while everybody's fighting, the whole Death Riders and Jay and Adam fighting, here is FTR senselessly grabbing up Wheeler Yuta and putting him through the announce table with a pile driver and pinning him for the win. Anybody can do that. Anybody can literally pick up a child and do that. Like, y'all think y'all big and bad because y'all put a little child through the announce table? Oh my God. Now, while they end up taking the win, FTR music is playing, Moxley, Death Rider, they're not even flinching about it. They're not even checking on Wheeler Yuta or nothing. They don't even give a damn that they end up losing this match. So everybody's fighting, and when it seemed like, okay, everybody is pretty much getting back to the ring and fighting, they ended up getting rid of the Death Riders. So all the Death Riders members are laid out. Moxley rolls into the ring and he finds himself surrounded by FTR. He's surrounded by they gave him a shadow machine. Then what's his name? Adam gave him a spear. And just when I think Jay White is going to give him a Blade Runner, then they end up laying Moxley out, put a chair under his head, and they're going to give him a concerto. Jay White goes to get the chair so that they can do the concerto, but instead Claudio, he may not be there when you need him, but he's gonna be there. He came and snatched up Moxley from the ring before they can give him the concerto, and they end up leaving. Marina had to come back for Wheeler Yuta when they remembered that, hey, there's supposed to be another member that's not here. They went to go get him afterwards. This episode, not so bad. Things are seeming to still feel a little repetitive with the whole Death Riders thing, but with Moxley going to go against our boy Adam, we'll see what ends up happening here. A lot of the things are still feeling the same when it comes to that story. I do wish that things would feel a little bit different. Not bad. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out, and definitely check out that triple threat match for the TNT Championship. These guys are amazing. This was a really great match. You guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back on Wednesday for Dynamite. See you guys then. Bye.